Yo, what's up, guys? We back on Reddit. We got first month and got bruised ribs. Advice needed. I absolutely love BJJ. Started recently and did mostly gi so far, with 2 no gi sessions. For my second no gi session, we were implementing wrestling moves for takedowns. Uh, and I was rolling with the brown belt who managed to take me down in his guard. Uh, okay, but in the process of landing in his guard, I hit his knee landing into your guard. I hit his knee with the left side of my front ribs. It hurt a lot. Then I somehow managed to hit hit them again. Same position. It still hurts. I'm convinced it's just a bruise. I'm, I'm dying over here. I've knock on wood for me, guys. Uh, I'm convinced it's just a bruised ribs or just bruised ribs. It's been a week and a half now, and I avoid going so they can fully recover. I hate that I need to just wait now. My question is, have you trained with bruised ribs before? Should I go just for the technique sessions? Could I tell whoever I get paired with to take it easy, i.e. bruised ribs? I really don't want to mess them up. I'm itching to go back. Thanks. Yeah, your body not ready for none of that, bro. I don't know what you're doing, but your body has to adapt to takedowns, falling, moving. You probably, most people haven't done anything athletic or fitness related, especially in the wrestling grappling world. So, I mean, your body is just like doesn't know what's going on. But let's read the comments. Rib injuries do hurt, but it's a tough one because if you take a week off every time something bruises, you'll never go. That's true. If getting to a doctor for confirmation about whether they are bruised or something more serious isn't an option, then I would probably just go to class, to be honest. Make sure you tell your training partners about it and sit out if need be. Yeah. Let's bring back saying, I can't say what he's saying. I support that. Yeah, you're going to get bruised. Like you said, you just started. Your body's not, I said your body's not used to it. So you're going to get bruised. Those ribs going to be a little sore, but, if they're not broken, and you can tell if they're broken. You can still go to class. You can drill, maybe light rolls. Talk to your instructor. You guys are so quick to go on Reddit, and you could have saved yourself 5 seconds. You could have texted your instructor. Could have talked to them before class or something. You could have talked to them after class. Hey man, my rib kind of hurts. What should I do? Odds are your instructor has been through all this stuff. You shouldn't be drilling full-on takedowns in the first month. Well, I mean, he said second class. you can drill takedowns in the first month, just controlled, maybe with a crash pad or something, or with some of these higher belts. I don't know what's going on with higher belts, but some of the purples and browns, like some of those guys can't roll with new people. I've been watching that like recently. I don't know what happened, but somehow the skill level kind of went down, or the guys are more crazy. Like they can't like tone it down when they're going with new people. So that it's just like usually back in the day, okay, you go with the higher belt, you're gonna be safe. But nowadays, that's not so true anymore. This guy's saying what I kind of said. Your body isn't acclimated to rolling. You should be working from the ground up, learning to shrimp, break fall, frame, learn some basic coordination, become more flexible. My first month training, I was astonished by how awkward trying to coordinate movements on the ground felt. This is the problem with a lot of poorly run gyms, in my opinion. They throw new students right into the mix without having a beginner's or introductory course, and people get hurt in ways that are easily avoidable. Higher belts shouldn't be hurting new students for any reason. I don't know what's going on, but I see this happening in a lot of places. It's the higher belts are just, I don't know, they don't have control, so they injuring people like new people and blue belts. Like there's no distinction between a new person and a higher belt at some schools. Like they're all just injuring people. And I believe you should be working your base. Usually we do very basic takedowns. The first takedown we teach in jiu-jitsu. We might, depending on if it's more wrestling based or judo based, it's usually, maybe a single leg, run the pipe. Usually we don't do double leg, or some type of trip where you can leverage the collar to kind of slow the descent so people don't fall and hit their heads, or maybe a hip throw where we can control it and they're like their butt hits, and then they can do the break fall. But usually you shouldn't be going right into free rolling, free takedown training that second class. I'm like, I think I used to be like, all right, man, just watch and see what to expect. I wouldn't usually throw people into the fire just from the start, because they don't know what to do. And yeah, it's kind of tough. It's pretty tough. Let's see. We've got a black belt who says this stuff is there's levels to this. Like if you can run and jump and twist and cough without pain, and it only hurts if you press hard on the bruised spot, that's probably fine to train. If you need to hold your ribs with your arm to cough or sneeze, or if you can't turn side to side, yeah, that means your ribs are jacked up. If you can't do a sit-up or to get out of bed, so you're just rolling sideways, been there before, until your feet land on the floor. If you need to grab the handle above the car or door frame and pull yourself up to get out of the car, all of that stuff is out for 6 to 8 weeks territory. Rib injuries can happen at any time, but are common when you're new and don't know what you're doing, or when you're coming back from a long break and you think you know what you're doing, but your body got weaker. Yeah, just because we do these explosive movements to the side, and I guess you were jumping, impaling yourself on your partner's knee. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with some of these schools, man. But Reddit keeps me in business, so that's why we cover it. Talking about Reddit, I always get upset, and that's what you guys like. But one of my favorite people in the world and instructors in schools is Sergi BJJ, with my man Michael Sergi. So let's look at the young Sergi over here. Elbows functioning and looking good. What you got to say, Sergi?
A program that's effective, a program that's sustainable, and a program that is simple.
You guys know I love me some Sergi.
My name is Michael Sergi, and I absolutely love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and fitness, and I love working with outstanding individuals.
Hey, Tracy, that you, Tracy?
I have this very diverse skill set specific to exercise, strength and conditioning, fitness. So to me, effectiveness is not just achieving results, but then maximizing your full potential. Our gym is centrally located in Savannah, Georgia, off of Mall Boulevard and Hodgson Memorial Drive. We have 70 active students, just under 2,000 square feet of mat space. Everybody wants an expert, and then everybody is an expert. And that means nothing. When in reality, what you need is just someone, if it has to do with fitness, is that there in mind is what is best for this individual. Because what is best for this individual is not going to be best for them or them or them. And I would say that I don't know of anyone that has as much of a diverse background specific to fitness as me. On our website, you'll be able to sign up for courses specific to jiu-jitsu. You can sign up for courses specific to fitness, and then all of the different forms of fitness that I offer and that I teach 100% of. For what jiu-jitsu gave me is very rewarding because I see it with other people. There were places in my life that I needed confidence, and there were places where I needed humility, and I was able to get both.
Well, Tracy was a white belt. Tracy's a purple now. That was a minute ago. Yeah, Sergi, man. Can't wait to see Sergi back on the mat. Sergi got the fresh show your rolls. All right, that's my guy Sergi. Trying to get him on YouTube. Sergi, you got time? I know you got time, Sergi. Get on YouTube. Post some of your videos that you post on Instagram.
My goal is to look homeless.
Post some of those videos on Instagram or YouTube for us, Sergi. Back on Reddit, we got how to deal with illegitimate BJJ coaches. So this is also increasing. There's a ton of these guys everywhere, not just. So let me read. Hey everyone, I'm from Azerbaijan. I should know how to say that because a lot of wrestling goes on over there. And we have a few BJJ schools where the coaches have no legitimate ranks. They show all the red flags. They can't prove their lineage. Hand out belts too fast. Doesn't that sound familiar? Yeah, it sounds really familiar. Avoid competition. That sounds completely familiar. Don't allow visitors. Yes, some schools. And hide their true level. I mean, if they're not rolling with you, they can hide that level. Well, I mean, obviously, I'll be like, why aren't you rolling? We do have good schools, but these fake instructors are a real problem. How does your country deal with this? Share your experiences. We expose them. In America, actually, we celebrate them. Those be the biggest schools. Let's see. Non-joke, he says, don't give them money and don't give them attention. But they're really good at getting both. They're really good at getting attention and giving attention. Usually they snag people in, and then usually they do that with money. So it's a gnarly combination. Alternatively, give them money, ignore their instruction, teach yourself, which is basically what everyone does by blue belt anyway. Yeah, on Reddit, they don't. Everybody on Reddit teaches themselves ecologically. They don't need an instructor. They don't need to drill. They don't even need to go to class, apparently. That's what I'm reading a lot. Consider the payments as permission to use their mat space. There's a bunch of people on Reddit who make no effort to properly learn or implement anything their instructor shows them in class. That's true. You guys know more than the instructor. You guys are perfect. You guys should be running the schools. Then blames the instructor when they don't get anything out of it. There's a strong current of, this doesn't fit into my game at this exact point in time. Therefore, I'll just half-ass the drilling and forget about it immediately after. I know white belts out there like this too. They don't listen. Rico, I'm calling you out, bro. You don't be listening. Let's see, bro. Everyone is teaching themselves to a degree these days with YouTube and instructionals. You go to the gym to get feedback. Yeah, because your instructor, you shouldn't have to listen to your instructor. You can just listen to the random YouTube dude, me. Let's see. Name and shame, nothing more than that can be done if they don't do some illegal stuff. Beat them in training. Well, they don't roll, so you can't beat them. These guys typically don't roll in their classes or are very selective. Heck, there are even legit gyms where you see coaches only roll with white belts for Insta highlights. I mean, even some of the good schools, they just, they put the black belt with the people they can stun on. I'm not going to call any schools out, but you can kind of see. Dojo Storm, yeah. That's why I like Jersey, bro. We be dojo storming. We be going to people's school. We go visit gyms. Hey, yo, I'm rolling everybody. Yo, in Jersey, we roll everybody. You can't hide in Jersey. They find you. They come to your spot. We gonna come to your spot. That's probably not the answer you're looking for, but complaining about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Azerbaijan, it's like complaining about hockey training you'd receive in Senegal. The only thing is, because in Azerbaijan, wrestling's popular, so it makes sense that you would have some Brazil. I'm dying over here. It makes sense that you would have some at least some submission wrestling or something there. If you don't have the coaches there, I mean, instead of those guys faking it, they should just go cross train. There's really good schools in Eastern Europe. Poland, Finland, Sweden, Denmark. Those places. Norway, gotta throw Norway in there. They're gonna always complain if I don't throw them in there. Germany, there's some okay people in Germany, France, UK. Man, bring some people from UK to Azerbaijan. You got Fion and other UK fighters that are really great that could easily travel to Europe more so than Americans like me. Poland, you got a ton of great people in Poland. You got Wrzezinski in Poland, not too far from Azerbaijan. I'm sure a couple hours flight maybe. So if they could bring the talent there, and that would probably help deter the fake black belts. Let's see. They actually have a ton of people attending things like AJP Grand Slams in Europe and UAE. It's a fairly big sport. Got my but handed to me by someone from their national team. Yeah, when you do like UAE tournaments and, you know, European tournaments, Euros, you see a lot of these people that you don't see in America. So it's like almost a different look when you compete against these guys. Some guy says they don't because BJJ has no regulating body. Well, we do have a regulating body in the gi, but unfortunately in no gi, you know, because they're so counter everything, like, oh, you guys do IBJJF. Because they're usually counter, I do, you know, I'm doing ADCC. They don't, the no-gi people usually aren't ranked in stuff. There's no regulating body. There's nothing, you know, which is good and bad in some certain cases. But the bad side is that there's no regulation. So random dudes could be teaching no-gi and they have no jiu-jitsu experience, no submission wrestling experience. So, you know, that's one downside. Listen, bro, we got this issue in America too, man. Wherever there's money to be made, there's gonna be people that kind of game the system. We have a few weak academies in our area. Years ago, when a white belt started a Gracie University Academy, it's not called a university academy. It's like a center, Gracie University Center. You know, there was like this term that so that they could have blue belts open up schools without it being weird. Anyway, he said, I spoke to our professor, Bearing BJJ from Rio, and he just shrugged it off and said, they're just farming and prepping new students for us. Yeah, I mean, sometimes those people, you know, sometimes they don't drink the Kool-Aid at the cult, so they'll go to a real school or a more competitive school, but sometimes they take the Kool-Aid. They drink that Kool-Aid, and, you know, that's it. This has come to pass over time if an academy starts with a white belt head instructor. Oh, God. Yo. You know, Reddit, bro. There's some white belt Reddit guys that want to open up their own schools, and they do open up their own schools. So white belt head instructor, I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Then eventually the students will surpass their level, and no actual training partners who can put them in difficulty. Our current black belt head instructor can tap the entire club consecutively, and we have 10 plus black belts. I mean, if that black belt's super great, he can tap everybody just about. Remember the post a couple weeks back talking about how lineage isn't important? Here's an example of as to why lineage is important. There are frauds teaching bum jitsu all over the world, and if they had a reputable lineage, they'd be put in line by whomever's name they were under. Yeah, some of the affiliations can kind of combat that. And you know, one thing, you know, say you're in a country without high-level instructors, sometimes what some of the schools, the big associations will do, they'll start a school in that country and they'll bring over black belts, you know, usually from Brazil or somewhere. And that can work. Sometimes it doesn't work, but I mean, it's better than nothing most of the times. Yeah, man, you'd be surprised how many people fall for this stuff. You know, there's schools not too far from where Tony's is, you know. I wouldn't consider real schools, but that's just how it's going, man. I can keep trying to make posts and videos, but, you know, I'm fighting a downhill battle, bro. So we got another video. We got Jon Thomas' new video. Came out 2 hours ago. John, don't hit me with that copyright strike. So it says, this will instantly fix your guard retention. So, you know, John, great guard retention. Some of the best guard retention in the world. Got his sponsor, Vital. I'm not sponsored by Vital. I am, however, sponsored by Inverted Gear. Guys, check out Inverted Gear. I hope to get my own like promo code. I'm hoping I get ALEC, ALEC, because that's easy. So that's one of my sponsors. And then my second sponsor is boom, BJJ Mental Models. You guys see that? Whee! All right, so BJJ Mental Models, go there. Promo code ALEC. That's the key. So I'll take those off because I know John and Vital. I don't want Vital coming after me or John coming after me. Come on, video. Where are you going?
Basically the idea that you want to have your hip facing the direction your opponent's passing because it controls your frames and how easy it is to bring your foot in. So very often we might be defending our guard, and if our opponent starts to walk this way, it starts to become a little bit harder for me to frame. I have to use more mobility in my leg to try to move. Right?
Yeah,
if my hip is facing him though, my legs naturally track the direction he's passing towards, and my arms are ready to frame. This is something that's really small. A lot of people do subconsciously. So if my opponent starts walking this way, I just kind of track and go this way. But if you don't know about this, either A, you can be here, and as he walks, you kind of stay center and it gets really difficult, or even worse is maybe he starts to turn you a little bit. So as he walks this way, he pushes your hips and you turn the wrong way. Now, once I'm turned the wrong way, it's much harder to bring my foot in. My arms are kind of like facing the wrong direction, so everything kind of becomes difficult and starts falling apart. And this is something that if you don't know about it, it can happen to you, and it kind of feels like you're falling in quicksand because you just start getting out of position and he starts kind of coming in and finishing a pass. So what often happens is if I'm facing the same way as him, when he moves just a little bit this way, it's very easy for me to use my feet, my hands, and quickly realign to keep him in front of me. But as I start getting turned the wrong way, it becomes very difficult to do those things. So a huge aspect of guard retention is either preemptively not letting them get on the wrong side, or what we're going to focus a lot in this video, which is the idea of how to realign to get our hips to reface him.
So man, Jon's, something about Jon that I don't see anywhere else is just the focus on those small little details, And those details, especially in the gi, make such a large difference. So instead of going over the whole video, I'm going to let you guys go and watch it. Again, it's called This Will Instantly Fix Your Guard Retention by Jon Thomas. Jon Thomas BJJ. Guys, check it out. I'll give it a like. There we go, Jon. Guys, go watch it and give it a like. We got another video. This time we got Nicky Ryan ranks the best and worst jiu-jitsu submissions. So hopefully I don't get hit with that copyright strike. Bro, flow grappling gets me on my main channel. We're cool. So I'll try to cover some of the things he says. Let's see. I might speed it up too, guys. I like to speed things up. Let's see. Let's do 1.5. I like to go fast. So that copyright gets me every time, guys. That's the only downside to doing these videos. Large. Can I get myself in there? There we go. Don't hit me with that copyright strike, please. And let me see. There we go. And here we go. Make it large and in charge.
Weekend, and he's like, I'm gonna put baseball bat choke in an envelope. He's pulling your brothers, and I'm gonna hit on somebody. And I think he ended up finishing one in the gi, so he's feeling like the man right now. Nice. But no chance he could finish me with one in the gi either, though. So I don't know. But, I don't know. Right. I feel like that's almost Majid Hage only tier.
Yeah. No, if Majid hits it, it's S tier. But
toe hold.
Where do toe holds land?
I feel like toe holds are more like
we missed a couple.
Maybe C tier.
C tier. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like toe holds against good people. Don't get me wrong, they can work. They can definitely break people.
Yeah.
But I feel like against good people, it's hard to stop the rotation. So I think we'll go C tier on that.
If you're going against a meow brother.
Yeah, I mean, leg locks are all C tier, even if you break them.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think any leg lock will be S tier, because it's like.
Oh, wait a second. Flo, don't hit me with this. I gotta rewind that a little bit.
A strangle,
Wait a second, guys. Wait a second. Just wait a hot minute.
C tier, even if you break them.
Yeah.
Not gonna work. So I think we'll go C tier on that.
If you're going against a meow brother.
I fight off the
I mean, leg locks are all C tier, even if you break them.
Yeah.
Not gonna work. That's why I don't think any leg lock will be S tier, because it's like.
Wait.
Oh.
It has to be a strangle, like it's.
All right, so I did a similar video like this with that Josh Sanders guy, and I was like, man, heel hooks aren't S tier. Some guy in the comments like, oh well, it's because you're not good at them, and I was like, okay, I think I'm okay, I'm decent, maybe you guys can judge that. But I was like, I don't think they S tier, they're not God tier, which is the ranking they had. And then, of course, the troll in the comments is, arguing with me, which I don't mind. I'm ready for you guys. But anyway, you got Nicky Ryan kind of confirming. He said none of the leg locks are S tier. And I believe that because some people can fight through leg locks with their leg broken. They didn't tap. Some people are flexible. There's a whole host of different factors And I just think general knowledge of leg lock defense has increased over the last couple of years. So it's harder to just be a pure leg lock specialist. Yeah. So yeah, touche. What you got, Troll? What you got for me, Troll? Huh? Can't say nothing, right?
No matter what, a strangle will end the match.
But you know what? I feel like these days, like you used to see people finishing guillotines in the UFC and MMA all the time. Now you never see people, or you don't see as much people finishing guillotines.
Guillotines, yeah, I agree, but
copyright, don't get me.
No,
copyright.
I agree. It's S tier. I think
it's S tier just because it's like I still it's just any strangle I think for the most part is going to be, and those are the easiest ones to get to. I guess not rear naked, but that's still the highest percentage one.
Yeah.
Guillotine. You need to have a good strangle from the back and a good strangle from the front, in my opinion.
Guillotine also, to me, just has some juice right now because Kynan just like unloaded guillotines to win double gold. So it's kind of like, all right.
A person with a good guillotine, it's very hard to do something against them. Dude, another person, honestly, one of the best guillotines I've ever felt in the world is Patchy. Patchy Mix, the Bellator champ.
Oh, really?
Dude, yeah, like, man, if as long as, I mean, I didn't really try and leg lock him, but who knows, his leg lock defense could be very good. I'm not sure. I was mainly just trying to wrestle and just do like more MMA style jiu-jitsu with him because it's not going to really benefit him to just pull guard and try and leg lock him, right?
Yeah.
But man, that guy has some really good jiu-jitsu for MMA. Some of the best that I've felt, to be honest. Like, if he ever decided to make a transition to jiu-jitsu, I think that he could do extremely well.
That'd be sick. Yeah. It'd be cool if we saw more MMA specific dudes coming back the other way and going deeper into like jiu-jitsu competition, you know? Obviously we get that a little bit, but just more and more as the sport grows, more money and everything, it's like it'd be cool to keep seeing that. A lot of these guys switch over.
Yeah, I want to see him make a transition to the UFC eventually, man. I mean, even Merab has gone out and said, he's like, my toughest matchup in MMA would be Patchy. He's like, Patchy's in a different organization, so I don't need to worry about it. They train together all the time and stuff. And I think it's like super, competitive between the two of them. But yeah, man, Patchy, if he ever wanted to make that transition to jiu-jitsu, I think he could do super well.
Nice.
Where's armbar go?
Yeah.
Armbar, I feel like we'll go B tier.
B?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you gotta move baseball bat up from E to D. Because it is like if you get it, it's like it does.
Yeah.
I keep hitting it.
I think we could put bow and arrow.
So let's pause it for a second. So what's that? The little choke from the bottom with Maji Hodge. Baseball bat choke from the bottom D. Toe hold C. Armbar B. A, you got triangle and was that anaconda? Yeah, okay.
And maybe S tier as well.
I agree. Bow and arrow is like the dude in the gi, nothing sweeter than a bow and arrow.
Yeah, man, like that's just one that's super hard to get out if it's fully locked in.
Where'd you put armbar B? Just because there's so many escapes and
there's so many escapes.
Yeah, armbar J-Rod.
And yeah, it is really hard to finish. I think B. Like I think it's a lot harder to escape a fully locked triangle than it is to escape a fully locked armbar,
All right, we're jumping up to the dip 12 here.
I was going to say, we got to jump into the 12s.
We got
Boy, alrighty.
This will get us through the submission tier list.
Guys,
this one,
I smelt it.
I know, this one's gnarly.
I'm actually surprised they're supporting this. Jiu-jitsu is supposed to be a healthy sport. You guys over here using that stuff. We call it snus in Sweden. I don't know. It's called sins here. Zins. Yeah, don't use that crap, guys. Don't use it.
To be honest, like this
we'll see how long I can keep this in for.
Really? Okay.
This one might just be like gas. I don't know.
We'll see.
But
all right, how about let's go heel hook. What does this outside heel hook looks like?
Yeah.
Heel hook, yeah, I would say
that's the kid himself, Nicky Ryan.
I know. We got to go S tier just because it's me now. I think A tier. I think
outside heel hook.
Where's my troll at?
Maybe B tier.
Where's my troll at?
Maybe we'll go B tier for outside.
Where's my troll at?
And the thing too is, it's going to be a lot of preference in this. Yeah. Like me personally, I hit a lot more outside heel hooks than I do inverteds. But inverteds are a lot in devastating, so I would put inverteds above outside. So maybe we'll go outside B, and then inverted A.
Where's my troll at?
Yeah.
I'm upset.
For non-leg locker talk, is inverted and inside? Are those like synonymous?
Inverted. Yep.
Okay.
Knee bar, I think also A.
They going fast. Well, it's also sped up. Knee bar A. Okay.
Yeah. It's hard not to give a lot of these elite.
I know, because it's like you put any of these fully locked in, they're hard to get out of.
Omoplata,
I think D.
D tier.
For no gi, I think D. I think it's a lot more effective in the gi. It can still be effective in no gi, but no gi I think is D tier.
They ain't using it right.
Buggy, I think that's a C tier. Even though it is very effective, that's another submission that it's kind of hard to get to, and it requires a lot of flexibility. and kind of long limbs as well. Like I'm still pretty flexible, and I cannot lock up a buggy on pretty much anybody.
I'm
gonna be honest. You're the expert, but I feel like C might even be high for it, just because it is like such a few select group of people can actually pull off the buggy. Even if like you can get into it, it's like I could get into a buggy, but I can't I don't actually have the flexibility enough to fully cinch it.
Yeah, I think D.
D?
Yeah, I think D.
D too.
Fair enough.
Okay, I mean, Ben Eddie's going to hate me for this, but in Dulatine, I think we got to go E, just because...
I think this is what I think we should do here.
Don't get me wrong, he can be effective. Ben Eddie does a great job with it, but it's like there's so select few people that can hit it because of the flexibility issue.
There we go, Reed. Put a new tier and put only Ben Eddie.
Yes.
And the Hindulatine is only Ben Eddie tier. Yeah. I do not think there's anyone else I've ever seen do a Hindulatine. Yeah, like, I'm sure there is out there on some 10th planet qualifier or something, but Hindulatine is only Ben Eddie tier. That's like, he gets his own special category there, and then we'll do E tier for I guess, something bad. But what about Smother? I see Smother on there. Where would you put Smother?
I feel like we could put, even though it's, I mean, man, people still hit it at a high level. I think that's E tier, to be honest.
Whoa.
No love for the Smother.
Yeah. Just because even the main people that kind of hit it, I feel like even they say that it's mainly a tool to just get the bottom person to move and expose something else.
Yeah,
it's just that technique really works when the person on bottom doesn't know how to respond. The thing is with a Smother, if you're able to just turn your face an inch or two, it's not going to work. It's only going to work if you're fully square. So if you just give like a super strong bridge and you turn it, makes it hard. It's going to open up other things. They can start elevating elbows, pinning wrists down, things like that. But yeah, like I would put that E tier, even though it is. I mean, all of these submissions can be effective, obviously. For sure. But
yeah, I mean, all the submissions are the top tier of some other tier list, So we just got to break out the best of the best into, I guess, best to worst. But was this Kimura?
Kimura, I think that would be.
Raise that thing up.
Man, either B or C, I think.
Maybe S tier.
We already have a lot in A. I don't want to just stack them up there. What do you guys think, B or C?
I don't know. It's a powerful submission for sure.
It is.
When you lock it in.
The thing too is the legs Kimura. I forget what other people call it. Is it
Terracotta?
Is that what's the Barada?
Big guys can do it. Small guys can do it. It might be
Barada's the other way. I think.
Okay.
So you can see a picture of the Terracotta, the guy in the black gi.
Yeah, that's going to be above standard Kimura.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's going to be above it.
Sick.
That's just it's more powerful. So yeah, I think we do that. I think we go Kimura C and that one B.
I like a Kimura. I like that Kimura trap, like hunt in the back with the Kimura. Like I do like a Kimura.
I think Kimura is honestly even just more effective as a way of getting to the back than as a submission.
Yeah.
That's why I'm putting it in C for just submission. I feel like you don't really see too many Kimuras hit at like ADCC and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just a problem with rolling.
Marigali got one first round against Marcin. That's the only one I can think of off the.
And he hit one against Rico Saccone.
Yeah.
Jones get one?
Different beast there with Marigali though. But
they're not using it right.
What about
the
Dars?
Right.
So we have Anaconda pretty high up. Where would you put the Dars?
I would put the Dars just under Anaconda, to be honest.
Should they both be A, or should Dars move down to B?
I think that they should maybe both be A. I just think Anaconda's easier. It requires. Like, you don't need to have as long arms to do Anacondas. Okay. Don't get me wrong, people with short arms can still do Darces for sure. It's just a bit harder. But Anacondas, I hit Anacondas pretty often.
Gotcha. All right, what else we got on there, Reed?
How about the north-south choke?
Yeah.
Man, I have tried to play around with the north-south choke, and maybe I just absolutely suck at them. But I've never once hit a north-south choke, nor have I ever been north-south choked. Maybe the people in my training group, we just all suck at it. Yeah, but for me, I'm going to go D tier on north-south choke.
Well, I do remember just from back in the day, I used to go to New York all the time and hang out with you guys in Henzo's and train and go to Marcelo's and go to Unity and stuff. I used to go there all the time. And I got to take a couple classes with Marcelo. And I do remember Marcelo saying that he thought that the north-south choke was higher percentage than the rear naked choke. He thought that the north-south choke was a better choke than the rear naked choke.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've never trained with Marcelo, nor has he ever taught me north-south choke. I'm sure if he did it to me, it'd probably be a different story.
That's crazy. You never trained with Marcelo. Those schools, Henzo, Gracie Blue, basement, right next to Marcelo. So I wish those guys had a little bit better relationship because, man, you can't. What was the point of having two really great gyms next to each other and can't cross train, And I guess Johnny, he was the first guy to dip over from Henzo's to go to Marcelo's, but it didn't really go the other way. For some reason.
But in my personal experience with my training group and training at seminars, stuff like that, I've never once been able to hit it. Again, I suck at them. But yeah, I've never been able to hit it, nor have I been north-south choked.
Fair enough. D tier it is.
D tier.
What about cross choke from Mount? This is a gi specific one, but kind of a legendary gi one.
Yeah, I mean, Hodger killed it with that. I mean, again, I'm not going to be the most accurate on these inputs, but I would say either A or B.
Should we put it in only Benetti?
Pretty interesting. Another gi versus no gi debate. Only when you do both do you have the full arsenal of techniques. If you only train no gi, a lot of stuff, you can't do most of the chokes. Can't do cross choke from closed guard or mount. You maybe could finagle something, with just your wrist. And then flip side, if you only train gi, you're probably missing a lot of the leg stuff, reaping, heel hooks. So to do all of jiu-jitsu right currently, you need to do both gi and no gi. So just let that be said only your back.
Yeah. This is one that definitely hurts to not put real high. I feel like, I don't know, but
it says here because
cross-choke is tough. It's tough to finish sometimes.
True.
Once you
get a real stubborn guy or something,
you can do it to everybody.
This might be similar.
Not for Roger Gracie.
I was gonna say this might be similar to North South, where it's like B for most people, but like if you put Hodger in the mix, it's like above S tier.
Yes. Yeah.
Homolo had a really good cross choke too.
Straight ankle, probably C tier.
Ooh.
Dang.
Again, can be super effective. All of these, if you put in the right person's hands, can be super effective. Mateusz Szczecinski, it's going to be S tier.
Yeah.
But for average person, probably C tier. Also, the thing with it is, especially in high level competition, is a lot of times people will just kind of let their ankles break.
Yeah.
And not tap and just keep going.
That's why the chokes are.
That's why the chokes are more S tier.
That thing is gone. That thing.
Yeah. I would say.
What about the arm triangle?
They get that cross collar grip.
Arm triangle.
Mikey Musumeci, Isaac, they get that.
Maybe B.
Your foot's,
Maybe B. What do you guys think?
I think arm triangle, obviously at the highest level, it's like you see a lot of arm triangle finishes, but it is one where it's like there's a route to get out of the arm triangle.
Yeah, the problem with it is turning and like exposing your back.
Yeah. You can do the telephone, but obviously like you can kind of choke somebody through that, but like really got to give your back to really get out if it's super bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it's like in that school of thought, like getting your back taken is also bad, but it's like you didn't get submitted. So I don't know.
It's always better to expose your back.
I would be fine with probably B or C maybe.
B or C.
Because we do have a lot in B. I don't know. What do you think, Reed?
I kind of quit doing the arm triangles, to be honest. It's been a while since I
gave up on them.
Yeah, I gave up on them, to be honest. I just don't like the I like it to be like a sweet finish, right? And like I feel like the arm triangle is never quite like a sweet finish.
I don't hit too many arm triangles. I honestly hit what do they call it, the rotolotine more, right? Where it's kind of off at like a more of an angle. I kind of hit that more. Like
do you wrap the other arm back around their head?
Yeah, I'll lock a full figure four.
I finished those more as well.
I hit those more than standard arm triangles.
It feels like you're just getting the same thing you're accomplishing with an arm triangle, but just like with some more freaking spice on it. Like really just like like if you get your hand over here and you can kind of like almost push their head over your arm, and just kind of like sucks. But, so I like the rotolotine quite a bit though. What else we got? Do the Peruvian necktie. How about Peruvian necktie?
Peruvian necktie, I feel like that's got to be, that's got to be pretty low on the list, man. When's the last time you saw a Peruvian necktie hit in competition? To be honest, I think we go probably E tier.
Hey, no love for the Peruvian necktie.
Somebody hit one recently, to be honest.
Michael Pixley. Pixley's been.
Don't get me wrong. Any of these
we know
are gonna be
in the right hands.
Yeah, but I would have to say E tier.
We're just trying to make sure you get more shit for this tier list than you do for the Zin.
Yeah, we gotta cover up what we did with the Zin thing.
Yeah,
but all right, what else you got here?
Calf slicer?
Calf slicer, I feel like that's got
coming up, bro. It's coming up, bro.
Those are kind of hard to hit.
That one could be only Benetti too.
It's going up, bro.
Yeah,
it's going up.
Chris Wojcik's got a good calf slicer. He does it differently than what's showed here. He does it with the arms a lot more. But
locked in calf slicer.
Man, I feel like that's gonna be maybe B tier.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it E tier.
E tier.
No,
yeah.
B.
Man, after watching Joe Durkeisen break Trator's leg with a calf slicer at No-Gi Worlds, that kind of.
I mean, Mikey hit one too on Gabe Souza. But again, that's another one you don't see
position,
that.
guys.
Was that Lucas Barbosa on Joseph Chen?
They don't know how to understand.
Yeah, that was also a calf slicer.
Wow.
That was like more Wojcik style with the arms.
Yeah, that's right.
Calf slicer. Those are.
How about
S-mount
S-mount armbar? That's the one on the far right with Lachlan there.
Underrated.
S-mount armbar. Okay.
That's pretty high rated.
That one's harder to get to, but I think more effective than a standard armbar.
More effective than a standard armbar.
I think a fully locked S-mount.
S-mount, you basically got the armbar.
It may also be B tier, just maybe ahead of standard armbar.
A tier. Go up.
I think that one's kind of.
No. A tier.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the thing is that there's no hitchhikering out. There's no reverse hitchhiker out, and you're just carrying their body weight the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, someone that's really good at it is actually my brother, Gordon, and he hit it against Hillbilly. And that one, I mean, man, it's so hard to get out of.
For sure.
All right, picking up Twister. What about Twister?
Yeah.
Twister's going to be either D or E. I think.
They just need a.
Dang, dude, Eddie Bravo's gonna.
I know
he's gonna be your next death threat at B team.
Yeah, but that's another one you don't see. Like, I don't think there's a single Twister in the last ADCC.
Yeah, I'm sure there wasn't.
So maybe E tier with that one.
Fair enough. We got some gi ones on there, Reed. You want to rip them?
Is that a loop choke?
It's a loop choke.
Loop
yeah.
choke?
That's all you boys.
Loop choke going, I don't know, I guess S tier?
I mean, loop choke is like,
no, I'm just kidding.
I would maybe B. Like, I don't know. You don't see it get finished. If it's like in the way it's pictured there, if you get to there, yeah, that guy's going to die.
Yeah, it's like Alessandro Vieira or something.
100%.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, loop
like
choke,
other
bro.
than that, it's probably going to be like, it's not that hard to get out of a loop.
I feel like I'm gonna put it in
equalizer.
C
I don't care
tier.
how tough
Fair
you are. That loop.
Fair enough. And then
get over your neck.
Ezekiel choke. That's got some no-gi crossover.
Ezekiel.
No, yeah. I mean, and nogi, I don't think is. I mean, I have been submitted with nogi Ezekiel.
Oh yeah, who got you with that?
Craig. The worst part about it is this is when he like kind of first got to Henzo's, and everybody was getting nogi Ezekiel by him, and I'm like, you guys, I'm like, you guys all suck. Like, you guys are terrible. How are you getting nogi Ezekiel?
Then he got Ezekiel.
And then there was one day where I trained with him, and I think it was maybe during COVID and stuff, so it wasn't like a full class. It was just like the small group of pros, and he nogi Ezekiel'd me, and I was so angry, especially because I had just talked a bunch of shit about all the people that got nogi Ezekiel'd, and he nogi Ezekiel'd me.
Hey, we all get
normally
humble.
at the end of every class, we walk up, shake John's hand, say thank you. I just immediately walked off the mat, went and showered, and just drove an hour and a half home in my car, no music on,
Silent.
just silent,
You
just
needed that, bro. You
angry.
needed-
I
you
was like,
needed
I
to be
can't. I was like,
humble.
wow, I'm really bad.
That radio off drive.
You need to
That
be
one hits
humble.
different. You
Yes,
know?
yeah.
Just thinking
especially,
about
bro,
what you did.
It's like 2 hours home,
Yeah.
man.
What is this, like a straight arm crush type thing, or what is this?
Yeah, I think that's like a straight arm lock.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's gonna be E tier.
All right, if you guys want to keep watching this, go
we're really
ahead. They're almost done. A lot of stuff I disagreed with, but that's normal. Last video, we always end on some business. It says bulletproof, how to choose a BJJ gym. So, this is more so, I guess, from the perspective of someone looking to start jiu-jitsu, but it's also business, right? That's your prospects. That's who's gonna be, building your program. It's those new students. So always trying to get those new students.
Hi guys, I'm JT.
Hey guys, I'm Joey. How you doing?
And we are discussing how to choose a gym. Now, this sounds simple enough, but if you've never done jiu-jitsu, you're just getting started, you don't necessarily know
1.5 guys.
what you're looking
Please hit
for.
me with the
People are on the
copyright
mats, they're doing their thing, seems good enough. But there are certain green lights / red flags. Now, we've talked a little bit previously about gym culture, but today we're going to go really to the point on what are the green lights? What are the positive things you should see when you get your first week or so, first class in a gym, to know that could be the right place for you?
This could even be, I got to extend that out, I think, even for people who have trained for a while. Because you might just be at the gym that you're at.
Yeah.
And you start to question it, and then it's like, oh, well, what am I looking for?
Yeah, and I think for the most part, the first thing most people look at is like, oh, is there a black belt, or like, is there?
People
do they
want to see that
have
black belt.
champions, or are they connected to a lineage, or any of this stuff?
Do you think people actually look at that?
I think they do, but I don't think it's important.
Yeah,
I think that's a
I
mistake.
don't actually agree.
Okay.
I think most people just rock up because they're like, oh, I heard jiu-jitsu is good. I see you do it here.
Okay.
It's just that geographic thing. You're on my way home.
Right.
And I do. I think that the small percentage of people, because when you don't
want
know
a
about
black belt,
jiu-jitsu,
bro.
you don't know there's a lineage.
That's
You
true,
don't
but
know about the world championships.
that said, there is a percentage of people out there who are peripheral UFC fans. This is what I've seen more recently.
They're Roganites.
They're Roganites for sure. They follow the UFC. They're aware jiu-jitsu is good. And so they're kind of like armchair jiu-jitsu fans, like, oh yeah, he's doing a rear naked choke. So when they're at the pub, they can kind of talk with, sounds like they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Never trained. I've had conversations with guys like that. They're like, yeah, I'm definitely going to one day.
Yeah.
It's like,
Been working on my arm guard.
but the thing is, like, I am very much like that, Joe. When I first started, it was just the closest gym to my house. So that's where I went.
Yeah. I tend to think that's how gyms work generally.
Yeah, just the convenience of it. But that's really not the best way to choose a gym, is it? What's the first thing you look for as a good sign of good jiu-jitsu gym culture?
Well, yeah, back to when I was looking, same thing. I just went to the place that was on my street. I didn't have any awareness of this. However, what I take as good signs now, first one is it's a warm environment. Like, it's a welcoming place.
Right.
And that is indicated to me by, one, a coach, like the person who's running the place when I walk in, being receptive and friendly and welcoming.
Yep.
And I'm sure most people can resonate with when somebody is not welcoming. It's like you walk into a new academy, maybe there's a class going on,
Smell good.
maybe the coach is there, but they're doing some of their own training.
Smell,
and they
man,
might give you that
smell.
look like, what are you
You
doing
don't
here,
want
kind of
smell
thing.
that BO
Like
coming
and then
in
they come
as a
"Can
new
I help
person."
you? Like, yeah. And you're like, oh, I just wanted to find out about the
They
classes.
make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, instantly.
You shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
What are you doing here? You're out of place.
Yeah.
To me, dudes.
Versus big
With
smile
skin-
straight up to
skin
you. Hey man, what's
disease
going
all
on?
over.
I haven't met you before.
Shirtless.
What brings you here today? Okay, cool. Let me tell you all about it.
No spats
high
under the
five,
short-
whatever.
no-
like,
no
this
shorts
guy's
on
a
top of
this
their
person's a
spats.
legend.
Yeah.
And that's like so fucking foundational. Could have caught the person off guard. Might have been a bad day, whatever. But generally speaking, you walk into a place, you want to feel welcome.
All over the place. Come on, guys.
And that, I would say, would extend to the students.
Right.
So maybe you walk in and it's the end of a class or beginning of a class and there's a bunch of students around. A good sign for me is students come to you, go, hey, man, what's up? Haven't met you before. My name's so-and-so.
Say hi.
Welcome to the gym.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg, but it does really, it's quite a strong reveal on
they got the adjustment.
the academy
adjusted
culture.
too. He over there adjusting.
Are friendly. Inclusive.
Yeah.
That's pretty important, yeah.
Versus like a place that's like
Roadcaster or
super
something.
competitive or maybe there's
like
not a
that.
good energy or a bad vibe. People generally don't feel confident enough to come up and say good day. And
Yeah, and I think that's the
And I'll be honest, everybody's got a different vibe. So you might have a good facility, good structure, everything. Maybe the person's used to something else, or they just wired differently. So if they don't like your gym, it's okay. Not everybody's supposed to like your gym. You don't want everybody liking your gym. Yeah. So hopefully they like the vibe, they like the coach, they like the music, they like they like the ambiance. If they don't like it, listen, they can go down the street, go somewhere else, go to Joe Schmo Jiu-Jitsu.
what I always say to anyone when they're asking me, what should I look for? Best not to judge on first appearances. I mean, that is one where you can straight away feel like, I like this place. I could spend time here. But also just, I like these people. I'm prepared to let this person squash my head. Like I forgive them the squashing because I know that there's no malice.
Yeah.
They're not trying to hurt me. This is just jiu-jitsu. So ultimately, I think that if you can really, I think for yourself, if you know what suits you, understanding that's really important. So going into a place, doing a class, not just the instructor, the students, the format. If you are there a month,
you turn that audio down.
Not just because a lot of people get quite intimidated. They walk in, they don't know what to expect. They're like, what is this?
everyone's intimidated.
Yeah.
Even as a black belt walking into another gym,
New gym?
you feel intimidated.
Yeah,
you're like I don't know this space. I don't know the process here. Yeah, absolutely. Let alone a brand new white.
Guys, do your research. You go on social media, you see the school, you see the location, you see the instructor, you see the classes. Do your research. I'm saying prospective students, even if you're visiting, see what's going on, see what area it's in, see how far it is from your house, if it's doable. Check the pricing, mat fee, whatever. Do all that beforehand. Don't just pop up. Hey, I'm just checking it out. Oh, okay. Yeah, go in if you're looking to. Just don't waste people's time. Especially some of the smaller schools. The coach got to sign you up, or one of the assistants has to sign you up and give you the tour, give you the spiel, and then man, you're like, I don't know if this is for me. I gotta ask my wife. If you're not prepared, you don't have your wallet. Tony will tell you. Tony, tell him. People be coming in. Hey, I want to sign up. I don't have my wallet. I'm gonna come back next time. No, never come back. So, just go in with intention. If you really want to start, get everything ready. Have everything ready. Have your payment. Have your questions. Bring some workout gear. Come prepared, man. Don't just jump in these places and not know anything. And you got a phone. You can do some research for 5 seconds. You can look up on Google.
Never trained before. Walking into a gym, comp classes, like fucking hell. A female walking into that environment, even way more intimidating.
Yeah, especially when it's just like a bunch of sweaty guys.
Which is generally what it is.
Yeah, that's the majority of jiu-jitsu.
What do you look for?
I think for me, I am looking at how the new people are treated. Not so much me, but usually how are the lowest rank people treated by the highest ranked people. I feel that is a very good indicator because the power play in martial arts, if somebody's a black belt, the status is stated, they can basically do what they want. But if they act with a degree of humility to people who have not much power, not much skill, not much say, then that is a good thing. If you look over and some black belt is hazing out a white belt or something or a lower ranked belt, you're like, oh, that's just an abuse of power.
Yep.
So I think, regardless of
notifications over here.
If you've never done martial arts, if somebody's really good at what they do, they can handle anyone on any level, especially a black belt. So if there's a white belt, even if they're big and strong and athletic, they should be able to handle them reasonably well without being too forceful, too mean, anything like that.
Hopefully.
Also,
these
being
lower
in a
belts
gym
not
where
so much.
everyone's
They can't
injured,
handle new people no more.
Not a good sign. So as much as we're focused on the green light, which is senior people look after junior people, I think it can also be said people looking after themselves is an important part of culture, and that's probably a little bit of a bias coming from a health and fitness background. But if I go into a non-jiu-jitsu gym, and whether it's a strongman gym, powerlifting, anything, if people are all injured, like if everyone is like, oh, it's a hardcore gym, we train hard, but everyone's injured, then I'm like, this is
welcome
straight
in,
indicates to me a certain degree
smelling
of
salts. Welcome in.
And I just that's something that I'm
people
wary
want that.
of.
I mean,
so
again, do your research, guys.
Good balance of power from up top, and then also the other thing on that is that not everybody has knee braces, has everything strapped.
Yeah,
some of us old. Some of us old.
How
We
about
got
you, Joe?
knee
Is there anything else that you're looking
braces.
for?
Taped
Some
up.
kind of coaching interest from the coach is important, and I think it could play out in many different ways. Sometimes coaches will jump in and train with the class depending on what session it is, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
In my opinion, it gives you an opportunity to learn in a different way from the coach because maybe you just get to roll with them that session.
Yeah.
But I do think that within a few sessions, you want to feel like the coach has had a look at how you train and they've given you some specific feedback. They've coached you.
Yes.
And seems kind of benign because you're like, yeah, well, that's their job. But there's a lot of JITS academies where the coach doesn't coach the students.
Right.
And maybe they coach their
Logical.
competitive students.
You
or
gotta
maybe
learn
they coach
yourself.
just-
You teach
To be
yourself.
clear on that, you're meaning
You go on
they come
Reddit and
over
you
to
learn
directly,
jiu-jitsu.
and they give you direct feedback on exactly.
You don't
what
need
to
the
do.
coach.
Yeah.
Reddit.
Man, I saw you making this mistake today. You should try doing this with your closed guard.
Right.
Reddit said you don't need a coach and you can just do whatever you want. You're individual you're an individual learner. You don't need anybody else. In fact, you don't even need to roll. You just absorb the knowledge somehow. Yo, bro, come for me, Reddit.
Or hey, when we rolled together, and it might just be at the end of the round or whatever, we rolled together, man, you kept letting me sweep you with this thing. What you need to do is this.
Right.
But just like something to show, hey, here's a little something to help you get better. They're not trying to change the world. It's all about coming in every session, but every session you're looking for a little bit of something.
Definitely.
That's a big one for me. And I can think back to many years training where coach didn't say shit.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And yeah, I've had the experience where I've asked for advice and been told to just kind of work it out for myself.
Yo, figure it out. Use your brain. Open your brain.
Never lucky.
We got. Listen.
You gotta be careful when you ask Lachlan for advice.
Sometimes everybody's like, "Oh, what do I do? I need to know exactly what to do." And the coach's like, "Man, you gotta just figure it out. You gotta drill, come up with different solutions." Man, people. It's hard to. You can't please everybody. Some people like, they don't want you to teach them. Other people like you're not teaching them enough. Nobody's ever happy. Nobody's ever like, Coach, you know what? You're amazing. Thank you so much. Something's always happening. And that's just how it is.
Because that's going to be a
thesis.
Yeah. James. You're going to get the anthology.
Right.
Which is great. He's going to give you 45 minutes.
Well, that's like when you ask you. JT's like, here's what I would do. Here's option 2. 15 minutes later, here's option 75. You're like, JT, I can't remember the first 74 options.
I do. It's my worst behavior as a coach, specifically within jiu-jitsu, is to give too much info. And I think I'm compensating for some of my early being coached. I got no info. And I always felt that was the biggest flaw. But I have realized over time, there's only so much info people can absorb.
Yeah.
So you just keep it to like 2 things, maybe 3 things max.
No, bro, 1, maybe 2. Because you'll get to 3 and then you'll be like, I'll just give you a 4th one.
Let me throw some extra in for free, plus an anecdotal story.
Here's me. Check out the YouTube video.
So,
you got a question? Check out the
thing that
YouTube
I've seen,
video.
which is really good, was actually... Now, this is not all gyms, but I actually thought it was quite clever. With Fabio, they don't let their beginner white belts roll for 20 sessions, I think. When they first come in, they have the kind of introduction, their beginner
So they
class.
don't
There's
hurt
no rolling.
themselves.
And you can't graduate to... It's either 20 or 30 sessions.
Make
but
it
what's great
easy.
about that is the person has learnt the body.
Yeah, so you just make it easy. I mean, I don't always agree with this, but some people you gotta ease them into the rolling and training hard and getting sweated on. So the no rolling rules is just to keep them safe, let their body acclimate to jiu-jitsu. Okay, they learn how to proper movements, proper basic how to defend yourself. That. And I'll be honest, retention is a lot higher when they don't roll for, he said 20 classes. That 20 classes can go up in 2 weeks. It could take a month or a little bit longer. So it's really dependent on the person, right? I mean, obviously some people are going to be tougher. They're ready to go. But even those people, I suggest, hey, just slow down a little bit, because you're a little too gung-ho. You get injured immediately, and then you can't train at all. So let's learn some technique, especially my wrestlers. We had a wrestler come in recently, and he went balls to the wall immediately. And And I was listening to him. He's like, yeah, my meniscus is all worn out, blah, blah, blah. And he went really hard. And I'm thinking, bro, you ain't going to last. So that guy, if you tame him down a little bit, kind of, tune him down a little bit, and then give him a week or 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, that's what I need to do. I need to actually use technique. I need to play some guard. I need to do this and that. Longevity-wise, he's going to do a lot better versus going hard the first day. He gets crushed. His ego smashed. He's jacked up even more. He's not signing up. So from the school perspective, not putting people to roll immediately is actually better. I'm just, what I've seen.
They've learnt all the drills. They've learnt everything in that way. They're so frothing to roll. They have enough awareness that they're not going to get absolutely fed to the sharks first day, which is the complete opposite of my experience. I just got thrown in the deep end, no lesson, just roll, try and survive type thing. The great thing about that, and the reason why they do that at Alliance, and the reason why Fabio did that, is he said the biggest thing that hurts retention is injury. If someone gets a serious injury in their first 6 months of jiu-jitsu, they won't continue. So
makes sense.
So they get them through their first kind of 3 to 4 months, learning, participating, being in the environment, watching other people roll, and building the anticipation for that, as opposed to throwing someone in the deep end.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's great. So having a beginner class where the white belts are probably a little bit more protected, that is something that I feel is good. So if you go to a gym and they have a good either introductory course or they have a beginner class, I think that
this can be hard for smaller schools, though.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that the tricky part is, and this is to just, fly a flag for like smaller gyms. When you got a smaller gym, you can't necessarily have that, can you?
It's hard to do.
So you kind of like, well, we got one session and everyone comes. But, within that, there should be some kind of scaling for individuals. So, hey, it's your first session. And the guy's going to do some rounds right now. I don't want you to do this. Just watch for the first lesson. Or, something like that indicates I'm caring for you.
Yes.
Versus, off you go, jump in.
Yeah, no, I never think that results in anything good.
You do some
because there's
positional
no
sparring.
real learning there.
Ecological
Usually
does
just the first class and
very
getting
well
your head
with the
around
beginners.
this is guard, this is
Give
that.
them a
Is already
game to
overwhelming
play.
enough.
Yeah.
To try and put that live is
very
too
simple
tough.
rule set.
But no, I think those
that
are
can
the
work
best
well
things
too.
you can look for when you are looking for a gym, and probably on a very base level, like a gut feel level. If you walk in and you're like, no, I kind of like this place. These people are on my vibe. This is my kind of a vibe. That is the best thing you can go off.
Just give it a try, guys. Give it a try. You'll see if you
because if
like
you're going
it
to spend
or
a fair
you
bit of
don't.
time, money, blood, sweat, and tears there, you want a degree of camaraderie. That for me is the most important thing above all else. You like the people you're around and you respect them.
Absolutely.
Guys, flip side. You got to be likable, bro. You got to be likable. If you a shithead, sorry, I'm cursing. If you terrible, don't expect people to like you. So you got to be agreeable, likable, sociable too. It's a two-way street. You don't just, man, everybody was really mean to me. I don't know why. They just didn't think I was amazing. I don't understand. So you gotta be cool too, man. Again, if you gotta fit the vibe, bro. If you ain't fitting the vibe, okay, go somewhere else. Go to Joe Schmo Jiu-Jitsu, bro. They'll sign you up $500 a month. Easy. No rolling. Self-defense only. You can enjoy yourself over there. All right, guys, that's it. I'm tired. I'm getting out of here. If you guys have any videos you want me to go over, just let me know in the comments. You can just link the video in the comments. Otherwise, I'll just keep doing my thing, roasting people, fighting off Reddit, and just trying to bring really great content out there. So, again, those sponsors, Nelson, if you're still watching, Inverted Gear, BJJ Mental Models. Make this guy bigger. Nope. Yeah, check out those sponsors if you want to support the channel. I cannot grab this thing. There we go. Can you guys see it? On a darker background, maybe? There we go. Yeah. So I might put up my Cash App and stuff, too. I've seen some other streamers do that. It's a little bit easier, and the money goes straight to me, or check out the sponsors. All right, guys. Till next time, peace. Peace. And I'm out.